Hello guys, this is Micah. So today's video we will talk about tourist visa interview questions. What is B1, B2 visa or what they call tourist visa? A US B1, B2 tourist visa is a traditional visa that is affixed to a visa page on your passport. So it is temporary, non-immigrant, allowing the holder to travel to the United States for business and tourism purposes. I have 20 questions here that can be asked during your interview. Why do you want to go to the USA? Say you want to go on a tour and to see what the USA has to offer. After all, you are applying for a US tourist visa. So your answer should be as simple as that. Have you been to the USA before? You might think that the best answer to this question is yes, and you feel that this is your instant ticket for getting a visa. Well, you are wrong. If you haven't been to the US, don't lie. Just be honest because lying will get you nowhere. Why do you plan to travel at this time? Simply answer that it is your most available time or it is your annual leave from work. If you have reasons such as having enough savings recently for the trip, then tell them the truth. Who are you going with to the USA? Are you going with your relatives or friends? Just make sure you know the basic information of the people you are going with. If you wanted to meet your American boyfriend who you just met online and never met in person, I highly suggest you ask him to visit you first in the Philippines. Which places are you planning to visit? Make some research on the places you plan to visit before you go to your interview. And I highly suggest that you start with the spots near your accommodation because it is more feasible. How long do you plan to stay in the USA? Carefully study your itinerary and base your answer from there. Or if you are an employee, check your leave credits and talk to your human resources representative on your allowed leaves. If you can bring a form or a letter during your interview stating your leave credits, that can help as well. Can you stay for a shorter period of time? Similar to the number 6 question, you can defend your answer based on your itinerary. And if someone from the US will act as your tour guide, simply say that you need to adhere with their schedule as well. Hence, a need for a longer time to stay in the US. How much do you think will it cost you to stay in the USA? And that is the reason why you have to create an itinerary for your US trip because this will give you an idea of how much you need to spend for the entire vacation. What do you do for a living? So basically, you have to tell about your job, about your businesses, and other side jobs, if there's any. Because this will give the consul an idea if your employer is credible enough. Similarly, they need to know also that you are established in your home country and that you are not going to the US for greener pasture. How much do you do for a living? So you just have to tell them the correct figures. And after all, this can all be seen from the documents you have presented during your online application. So if they feel that it is not enough for your trip, might as well prepare for the next question. How will you finance your trip? So you have to show some proof that you have saved money or enough money to finance your trip. Or if you are going to be sponsored, you have to get the information from your sponsors, know what they do for a living, and get necessary supporting documents like bank statements, job certificates, or tax details. Do you have relatives in the USA? Never ever lie or deny this, even if you won't visit them on your trip. You must know their names and a few basic information, including their status in the US. Sometimes, it would help you if you have photos with you or to further prove your claim. Do you have friends in the USA? Similar to the above question, know their names and also the basic information. But if they're not really significant to you, then say so. What are their exact addresses? So try to get their exact address before the interview. Don't just say that they live in New York, in Ohio, but rather be specific. Review the information before you go to the interview and always come prepared, especially if you mention about them on your online application. How long have they been living in the USA? And what are their current status? I highly suggest that you spend time chatting and interviewing your relatives and friends in the USA if the purpose of your visit is to meet them. It will really help you to become more confident in front of the consul. Where are they working? And what will you do during the office hours? As I've said, get as much information because the consul would like to know if you are just making up stories. Expect to be bombarded with questions. The questions might be redundant, but that's how they will know if you are indeed telling the truth. And when asked what are your plans during the hours and days that your sponsors are working, you can just simply say that you're planning to go on a short solo day trips near the area so that you can maximize your stay. Do you have plans on working in the USA? Your answer should be no. And never ever attempt to work in the US while you are there on a tourist visa, because otherwise you might get deported and will never ever see US soil once again. Never ever mention that you are looking for opportunities. That's a big no. Have you already booked your plane tickets? Look for possible booking dates and say that you're eyeing on those dates for your US trip. Have the flight details ready if possible, but don't pay for the flights yet until you get your visa proof because The flight ticket is not a it's not a requirement. Have you traveled to other countries before? Be honest, because they will know if you haven't. Everything can be validated easily, and they have all the means to check if you are telling the truth. How can you assure that you will come back home? Show the letter from your employer if you have any. If you have business that you currently take care of, explain it. Or you tell them that you don't plan on ruining your travel records because you still plan to see more places in the future. So there you go, guys. Those are 20 questions that might be asked during your interview with the consul. And I hope that this video can be of help. And again, this is Micah, and thank you guys for watching. Love you.